Hello everyone and welcome to a Kinda Crafty Kenzie. Today I have 10 springtime tiered trade cuties for you guys, so let's go. So for our first cutie, I'm just going to use these two little palettes that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I just used a stencil brush that I just kind of went over the palettes kind of just willy-nilly. Didn't give it like full coverage, but decent coverage, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Front and back of both of these palettes in the plaster. Then I went ahead with some of my antique wax by Waverly and then just distressed it front and back as well, because you want everything to be done on both sides because they're going to be on a tier tray, and you know, depending on your tier tray, it could be like a 24, not 24, it's not days, what? Like a 360 view. Oh my goodness. So anyways, that's what I did here, you guys, as you can plainly see. Now, since it's springtime, I did choose to use some of these natural wood flowers to go ahead and paint. You can get different things like butterflies and such out of this like little assorted wood bag from the Dollar Tree. So I pulled out two little circles that I thought matched well, that would look good, like for the center of the flowers. Then I went ahead and mixed that blue with some white. And then I kind of created like a lighter blue and then painted the flowers, which I ended up hating, so, you know, don't get used to it. So as you can see, I painted the centers of the little flowers yellow as well, but I just did not like it. So I went ahead with lavender and I painted the entire flower lavender, and then I left it. And then I went ahead and painted the centers with white and I liked it much better. Oh, you guys, I had to leave this in here. So in the middle of all my crafting, my daughter comes over, and I don't know if you guys have children or if they play Roblox or whatever it's called, but where you build houses and such. Well, not to toot my own horn, but I've kind of become a pro in building houses, so my daughter needed my help putting on her roof. So anyways, but that's my other hobby, you guys. So then I decided to put some stitching around like the petals of my flowers to kind of just, you know, break up the monotony of all the lavender. And then I did the same thing on like the little white centers. I went ahead with a purple chalk marker, and I went ahead and did stitching on that as well. The purples didn't match perfectly, and I thought about painting over them, but I left them. You guys will have to let me know what you think. I think if I would do these again, I would definitely paint over the stitching, but it works for now. So then I just went ahead and glued down my little centers on the middle of my little flowers, and then we're just going to attach these to the palettes. No telling where it goes. You guys will have to let me know if you have like a color scheme that you use for springtime. I didn't really have anything in mind when I started my spring crafts, but it seems that I'm leaning more towards like lavenders and greens and purples with like a little bit of like a blue, but not like regular blue, kind of like that teal or turquoise color. So I don't know. Let me know what you're using, or if you're just like go with the flow. So now I'm going to take some of these like little picks that I got off of Amazon, and they'll be linked below, you guys. These are actually really nice. I believe on Amazon they're used for like more outdoor use because they are plastic. And I don't really think they look plastic until you get them up close, because I didn't really realize they were plastic till I got them. But anyways, I used those and I thought those were perfect for in these. And then of course, to get these little palettes to stand on their own, I just attached some of these little blocks that you get from the Dollar Tree, and our first set of cuties are all done. I just want to take a second and welcome anybody who is new here today. I am so excited that you decided to click on my video. My name is Mackenzie, aka Kenzie, and I am a stay-at-home mom to 3 little girls. I live in a very small rural town in Pennsylvania, and as you can see, my channel is all about DIY, crafting, home decor, turning trash to treasure, repurposing, and of course some shopping hauls. I try to create inexpensive and budget-friendly home decor to inspire y'all to create some of your own. So if that is something that you enjoy watching, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn your bell notification on. I try to upload 1 to 2 times a week. And I am also over on Instagram at Mackenzie Miller 85, and I can also be found on Facebook under Kinda Crafty Kenzie. Those links will be in the description box of this video and in my bio here on YouTube. I love when you guys comment because I love to interact with you guys. So make sure you leave a comment on this video. Say hi if you're new. Say hello if you've been subscribed. You already know how much I appreciate you. I do my best to comment back to every single comment, but sometimes it can be easier to message me over on Instagram. But whatever you decide, I'm here for it. Okay guys, now let's get back into some crafts. So next up, we're just going to give this adorable little farm truck that I got from Dollar General for $2 a little bit of a makeover. I love the little truck, but I was not loving the plastic succulent. So I just popped those out really easily, and then I did have to use my pliers to pry out that metal rod that they were attached to. Now I really liked the little stones in the back of the bed. I thought those were kind of cute. But I just couldn't find anything to really put in there that would set up high enough that you could see the stones that didn't look weird. I even tried to put something down like in a little hole where the rod was in, but it just didn't work out. So I went ahead and used some boxwood from Walmart and cut it up into little pieces, and then I took some more of those floral pieces from Amazon that I used in the last DIY, and as you can see I just cut little pieces and then kind of cut like the blooms off the top of the flowers and just put them in the bed of the truck. Then I went ahead and cut a couple of these like little yellow sprigs off of a pick from Dollar Tree and put those in there as well, and I think he looks so much better with his little makeover. Our next cutie is really simple as well. I got this succulent from Dollar Tree or a dollar store a very long time ago. I don't even really remember why I got it, how I got it, or anything, but I actually have a couple of these. So I did the same thing to really all of them, but just featured one in this DIY. So anyway, or in this video, as you can see, I covered that pot with some celery chalk paint, and then I went ahead and covered those stones with some plaster, and then went ahead and distressed the entire pot with some plaster. I distressed it pretty heavily, and any spots that I got kind of too heavy, I did go back over with my celery and kind of blend it together, but I couldn't sand it or anything obviously because it would let that like coral color of the original pot come through. Then I just went ahead and covered the entire, bottom or top, or I don't know. I covered the stones with hot glue and then put on some of reindeer moss. And then I just took a pick from the Dollar Tree, cut it up as you can see. It's like little lavender pieces. They're so pretty. And then I just placed them willy-nilly in the pot. I did come back in with some of like the greenery that those little flowers come off of, and I placed them around as well. And I feel like this $1 succulent with just a little bit of TLC went from ugh to yay. But you guys will have to let me know what you think, and let me know if you guys do this to like little succulents and such that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I love the idea of a succulent and the cuteness of them and just how I can go anywhere, but I just don't really like their style and the fake plastic looking plant. But let me know what y'all think down below. Now I'm going to take one of these palette boards from the Dollar Tree again, and I am just going to use my miter shears and cut this palette into like a fence shape. I know that a lot of people have been able to find like the larger version of this that is already shaped like a fence, and good for you. No, I'm just joking. My Dollar Tree, through the three Dollar Trees in my area, I have never been able to find it. So I just decided to take my miter shears and try to make it the best as I can on my own. And after I cut them, I did sand them a little bit. They're not perfect, but I mean, I think it looks like a fence. So anyways, I did go ahead and cover that in a white chalk paint. At least I think that's white, you guys. I'm pretty sure it's white for like a white picket fence, but knowing me, it could be plaster. Then I took these little wooden words that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I highly recommend these. These are so awesome to use, and they're tiny, and they're really inexpensive. So anyways, then as you can see, I chose the Blessed. I painted it in ballet slipper, and I just placed it on my fence. And then I took some of my solo wood flowers with that beautiful green and light pink color, and I just kind of made a little arrangement there at the bottom. Now I'm going to actually glue the blessed sign down. I tricked my own self. I thought I already did. Anyways, now I'm going to glue that down and then attach some little feet on the back of this little pallet, or this fence, I guess it is now, with these little wood blocks from Dollar Tree so it'll stand up. And this little cutie is all set. Let me know what you guys think of this. This next cutie was 100% inspired by my aunt, who does tons of crafting, super talented, and she works a lot with buttons. So first I took just one of these little flat wood planks, there we go, in the square shape from the Dollar Tree, and I just put some plaster on it. Then I went ahead with that antique wax by Waverly as well, and I just distressed the edges really heavy, and I went in through the board just really lightly, or like what I call the face of the sign, I guess you could say. I didn't want it to be like overly dark, but I didn't want it to look like really clean compared to the edges, so you know what I mean. Then I am going to make a flower out of buttons. So all I did was just make the center shape, because you guys know it has to be white because I just can't have a yellow center apparently. So I made the center part out of white buttons, and then I made the edges out of those blue buttons you see, and then I made the stem and like the little petals out of the green. Now, for my aunt, who I know is watching this and I know is going to say, why didn't you add stitching in your buttonholes? Listen, I struggled for an hour, you guys, with this DIY, trying to sew thread and twine and whatever through all of these little holes. And after about 6 of them, and I got tired of rethreading twine through my needle, and I was a little bit medicated because, as you guys, if you saw on my Instagram, I was battling a really bad tooth infection last week, and I just could not handle it anymore. So I just glued them down. Then I went ahead and cleaned up as much glue as I could, and then I distressed over them with some plaster and some antique wax to kind of let them look aged, or make the flower look aged along with the rest of the sign. Then I used some more of those little blocks from the Dollar Tree to make little feet so this guy would stand up, and I had to add one more because obviously that didn't work. So then after I got him standing really well, then I went ahead and tied just a little brown twine bow just to give it a little sprucey, and this little guy's all set. For my next cutie, I'm just going to take 5 of these little wood blocks that my husband cut out for me. I'm also going to use those 3 pink colors for 3 of them. Now you guys can use the tumbling tower blocks or any kind of like little scrap wood that you want. I'm making a faux stack of books. I always make these for my tier trays for all the seasons. I absolutely love them. I don't put titles on them when they're this small. It's really difficult. Obviously you can't stencil on these. They're very tiny. I don't even know how to get my CRICUT to print something that small. I'm sure you can, but I'm not that good at it yet. So I just leave them bare. I mean, you can tell they're a stack of books when they're done, and that's fine with me, but you guys can do what you want. Now, you only really need to paint the edges of the wood if you want, but I wasn't sure exactly what order I was going to stack these in. So I went ahead and painted all the edges and then one side of the little blocks, because like I said, I wasn't sure which ones I was going to put in the middle or which ones I was going to put at the top and the bottom. Now I used those 3 colors that I showed you in the beginning of this project, but I did go ahead with some ivory and with the English Ivy acrylic paint from Walmart for the other 2 books. I want books, one of those. I wanted them to like all their colors to like correspond, to match well. So I didn't want to go crazy and like bring in a blue or a yellow or something. I was just nervous. So I kept them like kind of muted and like I said, stayed with this color scheme. And I think they turned out really nice. So after they were all dry, then we're just going to go ahead and glue them together. So at this point I decided to put the green on the bottom, and then I put like plaster or ivory, I don't know, one of those, and then I put the one that I painted in that like vintage rose, and then I did plaster or ivory, and then I did the celery. I can't always tell the difference between plaster and ivory once they're painted. So anyways, then I just took some twine, as you can see, and made a little twine bow. It's really simple. You just wrap it around your fingers, kind of like when you're doing a tassel, and then you just pull it off. Then I just added some brown twine like around the books to look like they're like tied together, and then I just hot glued it onto the bottom. Then I just flipped it over and attached some of those little boxwood pieces that I had just worked with in my DIYs before this. And then I also took that little purple piece, you know, little purple flower I took off of a Dollar Tree pick, and then just attached it there with the greenery. Then I just simply attached my bow to the top, and I think it's pretty cute. It's nice muted tones, and I think they go perfect on a spring tier tray. So what is a spring tier tray or spring decor period without a birdhouse? So of course I grabbed this from the Dollar Tree, you guys, and then I just gave the house itself a coat of the celery chalk paint. Again, like I say, I just kind of go, I don't even try to make a color scheme, but it ends up that way. So I worked with a lot of greens, yellows, lavenders, and like the plaster or white in this video. Then I just went ahead and covered the roof and the base, and then like the little bird stand there by the bird hole, you know, the little door, the little peg of the birdhouse. I'm sure there's a technical term for that, but it escapes me right now. I painted that all in plaster. Now, as you can see, I did get colors of paint on, you know, other parts of the thing, but I just went back in and touched it up, and yeah, everything looked good in the end. So I don't really show that because, I mean, you guys can probably figure that out. But then I just went ahead and took my wax again and just distressed like the top of the birdhouse and like the bottom and the little standy peg thing, and, you know, just made it look like it's been sitting outside. But, you know, I did not want to take away those pretty muted tones and just do like a whole bunch of, you know, the Waverly wax. So anyways, you can see what I do here with that.
Is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And
I wanted my little birdhouse to look like it was occupied with a mama robin who had just laid her eggs. And I don't know why I chose a robin. Probably because they are so prominent here where I live in Pennsylvania. It's just like we see robins everywhere. And I always remember like springtime, they come home, or, you know, they appear. I guess they come home from the south. I don't know. Do they fly south? I think they do. Anyways, they come out and they got these big fat bellies because they have eggs in them. And then we would always search for their, you know, their nests so we could spy on their eggs. But anyways, so robin eggs are blue. As you can see, I tried to do a little something with these prior and it didn't work out, so then I just went over it with the pool color and the Waverly chalk paint, and that looked much better. But what I did a little bit ago was just, you saw me put some hot glue down, and then I put some of that reindeer moss down, and I'm trying to, like, you know, mimic a nest. Obviously the nest would be like in the house, you know, would make more sense, but then you wouldn't be able to see it. Plus I don't think those eggs were going to fit. So I just did it on the outside, and you get the gist. I mean, it doesn't always have to make perfect sense, you know, you get the point. But so after I got those glued down, I decided to add a little bit more moss to make them look like they were really nestled in there. And I tried to use like a really tiny wreath form that I have from Amazon, but it just wouldn't attach to my birdhouse the right way. It made it really wonky and lopsided, so I didn't care for it, so I took it off. But as you can see, I just tried to create like a nest look on the outside. But I think it's really cute. It reminds me of spring, and I love it. So this next DIY really makes me laugh, you guys. So as you can see, we're going to take one of these foam balls from Dollar Tree. We're going to take a, give me a second, a dowel rod. There we go. I was going to call them a scare stick. So anyways, it's a dowel rod from Walmart. And I painted it in the English Ivy color. Now, I did cut it in half because I was going to make two, but after I made one, I said, that's it, I'm done. So I only ended up doing one of these, and you'll see why. So then I went ahead and attached my foam ball to my dowel rod, as you saw, and then I just got some of these little terracotta pots from Dollar Tree, and amazingly, they made it home without breaking, so I was super psyched. Then I just went ahead and covered the pots with some plaster chalk paint. Now, like I say, I did not do two of these. I prepared to do two of these, but I only ended up doing one. I might go back and do two, but I don't know. It's not like it was hard and it really didn't mess up or anything, but it just did not go the way I thought it was going to go. So what I'm trying to do here, you guys, is I'm trying to make a topiary. And I know you can buy these at like Target dollar spot for like $3 or $5 or something. And I probably have a little bit more money in this, but it's homemade and it's what I wanted, so yeah. So I took some of my solo wood flowers. Now these are the minis, and I got these on a BOGO sale. I don't think they're still having that sale, you guys, but they usually have like percentages off all the time, and they're so worth it. These are so pretty. This is like a pretty mauve color, which I know kind of comes out of left field because you're thinking, well, Kenzie, I thought you were doing like greens and purples. Well, mauve is kind of in the purple family, so it went. And as you can see, I had like a cream color flower laying there because I was going to do two, and I thought that they would look really nice together. Well, what happens when you put hot glue on foam is it starts to melt it. And as it's melting, my flowers were sliding everywhere, and I wouldn't adhere. Now, it worked out in the end, but it took way longer than I thought it would, and I got burnt multiple times, and as you can see, my flowers kept popping off, and I kept needing to, like, shape them into a ball. And if you push too hard on the solo flowers, they do, like, crumble, so you have to treat them delicately. But it did work out in the end, and I think it's really cute. I've gotten a lot of compliments on it already, so I love it, but there's got to be a better way to do that. Probably, like, E6000 or hot glue or something, or not hot glue, super glue. Then I just went ahead and hot glued some more Spanish moss down to my floral because there was no way I was taking this out of here. It's staying in there for life because it was a little bit of a headache to make. Then I went ahead and distressed it with some elephant chalk paint just to kind of steer away from that wax a little bit, and I thought gray would look better with the green and the mauve, so I liked it a lot. Then I just put some glue on the dowel rod of my topiary, yep. And then I just hot glued that baby down in there because, like I said, this is never coming off. I'm never storing it. It's staying in my house all year round because it will never survive a storage bin. Anyways, you guys, I think it turned out really cute after it was all said and done. You really can't tell that it, I'm curious to see how big that styrofoam ball is inside there, but I'll never know. Anyways, you guys. Moving on to our next cutie. So this one, as you can see, I took a wood round that I had purchased from Walmart. I bought this back in the winter before my husband cut me some, but they're really inexpensive to buy, and I thought I was going to make Christmas ornaments out of these, but I never got to it. So anyways, now that you know the backstory of the wood rounds, we can move on. So then I just went ahead and took the stencil from the Dollar Tree, and then I just stenciled on the word home in white chalk paint. I think it's white. It could be plaster. I'm pretty sure it's white. Then I did take the heat gun to it so it would dry it, and I chose this little pot of flowers. I thought it was really cute, and it went with my purple scheme. And then I was like, oh, and now I'm going to stencil some green leaves on here with my English ivy and this stencil is from Target's Dollar Spot back around like Valentine's Day, I believe. But I don't know. I think I got a little heavy-handed with my paint, or maybe I don't know what I did. I was on the phone with my mom while I was doing this, and I was like, oops. I don't know what happened. So then I tried to like take my white chalk pen and kind of like fix it and go around the leaves and like draw the petal, not the petals, but like the little seams of the leaves, and it didn't work, you guys. I just did not like it. I tried to like it, but I didn't like it. I thought that it kind of brought down the whole project, like it was an obvious flub, and I was really loving the simplicity and how pretty the home looked on the natural wood. So I ended up chucking this anyways. So I don't even know why I'm talking about this because I could have just deleted it and explained it in way smaller sentences. So what I ended up doing was taking a little bit of, I think this is eucalyptus that I got either from Walmart or Amazon. I'm pretty sure this is Walmart though, you guys. And I just cut some pieces off, and basically I just covered it. I just completely covered up the flub. Then I chose to use one of those little solo wood flowers again. I chose like a lavender color one to match the flowers in my little pot that I already have on there on that sticker. I do end up removing the sticker in the end just because after I added the natural looking eucalyptus leaves and then that pretty little flower, it looked very natural, and I just felt that the sticker, just didn't mesh well anymore. I still love the sticker and I'll use it somewhere else, but it just didn't look right with this anymore, I felt. But I left this in here, you guys, with this long rant where I showed you the mistake because I wanted to show you that nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, and this was what we call a happy mistake. So thank you for who told me when I couldn't find my words last time I made a happy mistake. But anyways, I wanted to show you when you do have a mistake, before you just chuck it or toss it or, or give up on it, just change gears. And sometimes, most of the time for me, it turns out way cuter after the mistake happens than it did in the original plan, or would have in the original plan. So I'm very, very happy with this. I just love the simplicity of it and how natural it looks, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So of course I needed to create a little kickstand for this, and it just didn't work with just those little 3 blocks. So then I just added on an extra little tumbling tower block, and it worked. Just don't look at the back. But it worked out really well, and like I said, I really, really love this DIY. And for our final cutie, I am going to just use one of these salt and pepper shakers that came from one of the packs from the Dollar Tree. You get 3 for $1. Last time I did these, I used all 3 and I put them in a butter dish to make a little floral arrangement that I absolutely love. But this one is inspired by my aunt, who inspired my other DIY that I mentioned in this video, and she is super, super crafty, so I'm hoping some of that talent passes down through the bloodline. Anyways, as you can see, I did not chalk the lid this time. Last time I did, I went ahead and covered it in the elephant chalk paint, and then on my vase, I guess you could say we're going to use, I gave it a base coat of agave and then a top coat of plaster. Then when you sand it, some spots I sand down completely to the glass, and some spots I only sand away the plaster so that the agave comes through, and it gives a really cool two-tone look. It's so pretty, you guys. Literally, the camera doesn't do it justice. To see it in person, and it's so neat. My aunt did this with one of her floral arrangements, and she used 2 different color yellows, and it looked so cool. I cannot wait to try it. So this is definitely inspired by her, but she doesn't have YouTube, so I can't give her any credit on here. Anyway, so then I went ahead and just distressed the top of the salt shaker with some plaster. Then I cut off some of these little pretty turquoise florals that I got from Amazon, and I used some more of those eucalyptus picks that I got from Walmart. I did have to trim the stems a little bit so it would fit down into the salt and pepper shaker, the little holes of the lid. And I just simply did a little floral arrangement, what I thought looked really pretty. I love how all the colors tied together, especially the color of the vase tied in with those florals so perfectly. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. You could use any color paint and any color florals to do this, and it would look so neat. I highly recommend you guys try this because it's just so cool. Then I just tied a simple bow with some twine. I wrapped some twine around the little vase, and then I went ahead and tied a simple little twine bow, a little shoelace bow, and just attached it with some hot glue right on this little vase, and I think it is absolutely adorable. You guys will have to let me know what you think. But here comes the final reveal of all 10 tier tray cuties, and if you stay till the end, you'll see how I decorated them all on my tier tray.
If I will ever figure out where the road goes, even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, the sky is falling down.
I want to thank you guys so much for coming along with me today while I created these adorable little cuties for my tier tray. I have a huge obsession with tier trays. I have quite a few of them in my home, but I always designate one for the seasons and holidays. So I was so excited to go ahead and get my spring decor made and up on my tier tray, and I'm so excited to show it to you. But I just want to say really quickly, if you are new here, please go ahead and subscribe. My channel is all about crafting, DIYs, home decor, turning trash to treasure, thrifting, etc. And if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And here is my tier tray, all nice and decorated with all the little cuties I created in this video. I think it turned out really, really nice. They are so fun to decorate, and even more fun when you decorate them with decor pieces that you've created yourself. Everything on here you saw in the video today, except for that M in the back on the bottom tray. That came from Hobby Lobby. But anyways, you guys, thank you again for coming along with me. And before I get any questions about this tier tray, yes, it is 100% homemade by my husband. He surprised me with it a couple months ago, and I am so excited to get to feature it in this video to share with you guys. It is just made out of old wood pieces that we had and some rope that he had, and then that curved backing on the back of the tray that you can see putting all the pieces together is actually an old chair off of like an old arm off of an office chair. So he's pretty crafty too. We're kind of a pretty good team. But anyways, you guys, again, thank you so much for coming along with me. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit a like if you liked it. And I will see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye.
Crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I keep on searching.